whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since thou art laid down, no fella is come up against us. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make the place of my feet glorious.
Because the Lord is going to restore everything. You're going to have a total different vibration on the earth, a total different smell. You're not going to be walking down the street and smell shit and piss, you know, and no foul odors or nothing like that, because the lungs of the earth are going to be given back to it, which is all these trees and all of these flowers, and it's going to be a whole total different vibration. You know, you're going to see the aura and how things are going to change and how elevated things are going to be. Our senses are going to be heightened, you know? Everything about us is going to be glorified.
For behold, I create new heavens and a new earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Jerusalem a rejoicing, and her people a joy. And I will rejoice in Jerusalem, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that hath not filled his days. The child shall die 100 years old. But the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat the fruit of them. They shall not build, and another inhabit. They shall not plant, and another eat. Whereas the days of a tree are the days of my people, and mine elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth for trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of the Lord, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and dust shall be the serpent's meat. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, saith the Lord.
The Lord said that on the Heavenly Father's right hand there are pleasures evermore. And it says that I have not seen, neither ear heard the things which the Lord hath prepared for them that wait for him. You know, there's a whole nother world of greatness that awaits us when the kingdom of heaven is established. It's not seen in this society. In this society, we only see carnal things that reason offers in this society. But when the kingdom is established, the Lord is going to open us up to a whole nother world, you know, of pleasure, of knowledge, of wisdom, understanding, you know, just, I mean, can't even be put into words, you know, because our imagination only goes but so far.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakapadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Al Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful elect, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into this morning, you know, another morning news and prophecy, man. You know, major things, you know, are at hand. All right. The decision, okay, dealing with the MOTB, all right, in times of unrest. Okay, and what we have to understand, man, let's just go straight into the scriptures. You know, what we have to understand is that the Lord, all right, is taking this thing to the next phase, man. You know, we're going to sound like a broken record, all right, but this is what it is. Ever since the Day of Atonement, things have changed to another gear. All right, things have intensified, because the government shutdown started on the Day of Atonement. These things and like how it played out, where the Day of Atonement, was off, technically, according to the seventh month, but it was right on time spiritually, man. And that Lord does things like that to show that He is, man. Okay, and we're right here. You see, this thing, the next few weeks can be absolutely crazy. You know, the day the 29th. And see, people are so used to, the government bailing them out, that they're lax. People are used, people are making memes and jokes and laughing and playing, because people are used to hearing about, particular situations, but then it's not as bad as people hype it up. Okay. So people don't understand, all right, that hey, we right here at a pivotal point, okay, to where things can go way left, all right, especially at these times of the year, okay, when people, because now people go in debt just to try to have a normal Thanksgiving and a normal Christmas. And, people go, this is the time that people, are used to feasting, spending money they don't got, okay, traveling, okay. So the timing of this thing, is the perfect atmosphere, okay, for unrest. Now, let's go here. Let's get these two precepts, and then I got a video I want to go into dealing with a dream, that this woman had. All right, dealing with the MOTB. Okay, so now let's go here to the book of Matthew, chapter 16, verse 1. It said, the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came and tempting desire him that he would show them, all right, a sign from heaven. He answered and said unto them, when it is evening, ye say it will be fair weather, all right, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Okay, so here it is, talking to the scribes and Pharisees because they wasn't spiritual. you know they could see, when it came to the signs of the times. They can determine it. I mean, the signs of the weather. They can determine signs of the weather, but they couldn't discern, okay, the signs, all right, of the times in the spirit. Okay. And see, we in the time now where we have to discern where we at in the spirit, man, which is prophecy, man. Okay. Like people can determine, all right, like Yasha Wamba said, when the Dallas Cowboys need a new middle linebacker. Jay got discernment and vanity. Okay. Argue about the best rapper, the best athlete all day, but then when it comes to discerning the signs of the times that we in, okay, most of our people are not spiritual, man. But we're here. See, our people don't understand this is bigger than food stamps and HUD. Okay, this is way bigger the times that we're coming into. Okay, you niggas not being able to get your hot pockets and hot Cheetos, man. Okay, this is way bigger than that. We in some heavy times. All right, well the Lord is getting ready to unleash. You see, the Lord's finna express His anger in the earth, man. All right, the times we're coming into, we're getting ready to see the Lord's anger expressed in the earth, man. And we've been talking about it now. We're in the time we're gonna see it. Okay, and then on the flip side, man, we're in the time of salvation, man. It's time to get out of here, man. As I know, you brothers, all right, even a few of you sisters, man, you've been praying to get out of here, man. Well, this the path out of here, man. You know, hey, the straight gate. This that path out of here, man. Okay, and we're all going to be tested, all right, and tried to see if we really believe this, man. Okay, Luke 21 and 28, it says, and when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh, man. Yahweh Shai is on his way. You know, he coming quick. The scripture was a thief in the night. Yahweh Shai is going to come up on this place quick, man. He's going to walk this place down, man. So we're going to see, you know, constant judgment go out, man. And that's showing that we're closer to Yahweh Shai. Okay, because he's the pinnacle of judgment. He's going to be the peak of the Lord's anger, okay, that's coming to the earth. But also he's going to be the Lord's mercy for the elect. Okay. So I want to go to this video first. All right. Let's go here. All right. So this was put up by the brother Yaqua, Hopeful Lick 3. Okay. Um a woman shares a dream about the MOTB. Okay, so let's let this play, you know, and then we'll, because see, a decision finna have to be made, because this is what all this chaos is leading to, a decision that's going to have to be made. You know, whether we believe, okay, in the kingdom beyond this current kingdom, okay, or not. You see, and those that don't have, you know, the faith in that, they're going to bend the knee. Okay, as we're going to get into in this video. So let's let this play. All right.
Hi, everyone. This is Melissa May. I just wanted to come on and do a quick dream video that I had a dream last night, and it was about the mark of the beast. So I'm going to go ahead and get into that. So I had a dream that my husband and I, we were kind of at some big event. I don't know if it was like a concert or it felt like it was at a concert. So it was, you know, kind of like it was being held in a big sports arena. And so when we drove into the parking lot, I remembered seeing like a ton of cars, just a lot of cars there. So when the event was done, something had taken place in the world. A change had been made to where you could not come and go freely because you needed something in the hand to be able to come and go freely. So this gentleman had come and got my husband and I, and he had taken us up to the room. And so I can remember my husband saying to this gentleman, he's like, well, you know, how long is this going to take? How long is this going to be that we're going to, you know, be in this room? And the guy looked at my husband and I, he goes, well, that depends on you and your wife. He goes, that depends if you decide to make a good decision or a bad decision. And so Jason was like, oh, okay.
And I'm going to say this is proof. All right. Because people say, well, what if they make us take the MOTB? Well, first of all right, you should have full faith that he is. And if we're part of the elect, no one can make us do a goddamn thing. Okay? But this also shows you in the video that in this video what she's saying, that look, it's gonna be a choice, a decision gonna be made. Okay, you're gonna decide, you're gonna consciously make that decision. This is what I want, and the Lord got it set up like this. Okay, we don't give Esau all this power that he can do this and do that and make and force. Look, the Lord got it set up to where a decision gonna have to be made. Okay, and that's why, you know, this what stuck out to me. You know, when she said this, like the guy, you know, which ultimately represents the beast system, the guy that's telling her, look, you're gonna have to make a decision. You're gonna have to make a good one or a bad one. Okay, because Esau is going to present this as something good. Okay, so play it back a little bit.
in this room, and the guy looked at my husband and I. He goes, well, that depends on you and your wife. He goes, that depends if you decide to make a good decision or a bad decision. And so Jason was like, oh, okay. So anyway, this gentleman excused himself and he said, I'll be right back. And he goes, when I come back, I'll be taking you to this other area where you're going to have to make a decision. So when the guy came back, he was not nice. When he had first taken us into the room, his demeanor it wasn't mean, or it wasn't, it wasn't like a bad attitude kind of. But when he came back, his whole demeanor had changed, and he was holding almost like this whip in his hand. And he looked at me and he goes, okay. He looked at me and said, you're first. He goes, you are first. And he goes, and if you don't listen to me and if you do not comply, you are going to get hit with this whip.
So she said that the guy, and this guy represents this beast system, man. This new world order government. Okay, so she said that when he first came, that he didn't have a mean demeanor, because first the devils going to roll this out soft, you know. They're going to say, well, look, in order to have access, in order to participate, all right, we suggest this. Okay, they're gonna get the celebrities, people gonna be volunteering for it. Okay, so you're gonna have a phase of people, volunteering for it. You're gonna have celebrities pushing it and marketing it, you know, and then after the volunteers slow down, you know, then they're gonna come back with more draconian measures. That's why I say he came back with the whip, and that whip, okay, is gonna be, look, if you don't comply, you're gonna be punished by not being able to participate in society, man. Okay, you're going to be a complete outcast. You're going to be shut out of participating in society if you don't get this, because a whip represents what? Punishment, man. Okay, so Esau gonna come, soft, voluntarily. He's gonna sell it. He go as a good decision. As if this is, the solution they've come up with to the chaos that they getting ready to bring. Okay, so he's gonna what you got, peer pressure you in. He's going to pressure you by, like, because even with the juice, what you had, he made it seem like the people that didn't get the juice was the villains, and the people that was getting the juice was the heroes, the good guys. He gonna do the same thing with the sea hip. Like, look, the people that are getting it, these are the good people. People that are not getting it, these are the bad people. That's why he came to this woman and said, look, you're gonna make a good choice or a bad choice, because he's gonna push, okay, the people that's getting it as if they're the heroes. They care about society. They care about the well-being of everyone, their fellow, American or whatever. You see, and the people that's not getting it, well, they're against this society going forward. They're the bad guys. They're the villain. Okay, and that's gonna be the propaganda. You see, and then after that, voluntarily, that phase of voluntarily taking it, then he's gonna go with more drastic measures. It's gonna be punishments, all right, for not taking it. Okay, so let's play this.
And so, of course, in my mind, I'm thinking, like, what in the world is like going on? So I went ahead and I followed him to this other area, and something inside of me was like, Melissa, you've got to try to find a way of escape. And so I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, Lord, you're going to have to help me. And so this guy had left me momentarily, and I found like a way of escape. And I started going down these stairs to try to get on the outside of this building, this arena that we were in. And I started going down the stairs, and all of a sudden the Lord said, Melissa, you need to stop. And he goes, go back up this like 3 steps, go back up 3 steps. So I was like, yes, Lord. And so just as I had gone up 3 steps, the Lord was like instructing me, thus, you must be very quiet. And so I did. Well, as I was doing that, a security guard walked in through the door that I was actually going to go out of, but the Lord had stopped me and gave me instructions to go back up 3 steps and then to be quiet. And so he came in, and of course I was way above his like field of vision, and the security guard almost looked like he had a lot on his mind. He wasn't looking up the stairs. He was only like focused on whatever his mind was on. And the security guard actually had to, he walked over to like a desk area with like a computer sat. And then I could hear in his mind where he was like, I really have to go to the restroom. So he went to there was like a door right there where the restrooms were, and he walked in the door. And then that was when the Lord said, okay, Melissa, go out the door. So I exited out the door, made the escape, and I was headed over to this area where, I don't know, there was just, some people were gathered outside. And so I walked over to this gentleman and I said, I said, what was going on in there? And he goes, well, don't you know? He's like, we had to take a chip. They had to put a chip in our hand in order for us to leave the building. He goes, didn't you get one? And he goes, let me see your chip. Let me see your hand right now. And of course, I didn't have one. I had escaped, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I basically turned around and started running. But I had actually looked at the parking lot, and you guys, like 80% of the cars had left that parking lot. Like almost 80% of those people that were in that arena, they ended up taking the mark. And there was still about 20% of cars in there that were still parked there, that obviously had not taken it. And so that was pretty much the end of the dream.
Yeah, man. So she had a very, detailed vision, okay, of the MOTB, okay, and it was spiritual and symbolic, and like when you go here, let's deal with this. We get a few precepts, but this shows that the decision gonna have to be made, and it shows that most people are going to take it, because she said 80% of the cars, that was there, all right, because you had to take it to leave, all right, the building, okay, and ultimately go to leave the building, all right, which is confinement, and go participate back in society. You had to take the sea hill, okay. So the majority of the people are going to take the sea hill, okay, to go participate in society in this new system that the devil is getting ready to roll out. Okay. Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast shall both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay. And this devil, has revived, all right, the Greco-Roman Empire back into the earth. Okay. And this is the system and the culture that people worship. Okay. Which was a do as thou wilt. All right. Culture. It was anti-Messiah. Okay. The games, the sports, okay, the the self worship, okay, with clout and nobility and materialistic things were worship, okay, impelled to lies, okay, So this is what this man has revived in the earth. All the ancient gods of the Greco-Roman Empire at the forefront of this society. Okay. So if you're not in lead, with this beast system, it's going to get to the point to where, hey, the penalty is going to be death. That's why you're going to have those beheaded. Okay. You're going to have believers beheaded. All right. But before he gets to the point of just, deleting you, unaliving you, well, there's going to be a time, all right, because you get this word kill and you go to the root word, okay? There's going to be a time, all right, you go into this word apo in the Greek, okay? There's going to be a time, and the definition goes to what? Of separation, you see, of separation of a part from a whole. So you're not going to be able to participate in this society. You're going to be separated from this society and participating in this society. Okay, if you don't have that MOTB. And eventually it's going to be punishable by what? By death, by being unalive. Okay, thus said the Lord. You see? So when you look into, all right, let's go back. All right, when you look into what the devil has going on, because uh another woman had a dream, that she seen, I think she said 4 phases, 3 phases. She said first it was voluntarily, then, they pushed the celebrities, to market it, and then, they stopped you from participating in society without it. And then she said she seen the military, okay, which at that time is going to be what? All right, punishable by death for not having it. And then it shows you that these people that take it, man, they're going to be, because you see how divided people are now. Okay, and you see how it was a lot of tension between the people that was pro juice and the people that was anti juice. Just like you see, all right, pro left and pro right. Well, it's gonna be pro chip and anti chip, and the people that have the chip, man, they're gonna be so enchanted, okay, and enraged at the people that don't have it. You see, that's gonna be going on now. Let's go here. And that's how we understand that, hey, we gotta be faithful even unto death. All right, that's an option, man. But one thing we can't do, because we're gonna have to make a decision. But we know, all right, serving Yahweh Shai, that's a victory. Matter of fact, let's go here to Joshua, and then we'll come back to it. Let's go work our way back to it. Let's get the book of Joshua 24, okay, and 15. All right, now you'll have a Christian, have this scripture, okay, in their living room, but they have no idea what this means, the severity of this, you know. So when you go into the book of Joshua, chapter 24, and verse 15, it says, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, all right, Yahweh Bashim Shai, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai." That decision gonna have to be made. Okay, like I said, a Christian to have this on their, on their wall, decoration, but they have no idea the severity of this precept. And we in a time where we're gonna have to stand on this, man. Okay, like never before. All right. And see, the Lord has been building us up, okay, to stand firm in these times. That's why when you go to Revelation 3 and 10, you see, it says, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee." So that's why the Lord has us in this grace period, keeping the word of his patience, man, which is obedience through faith, laboring, toiling in this thing, sacrificing, man, according to our faith, our belief, because everything we do is rooted within our belief, man. The sacrifices we make, the obedience, separating from this world, confessing our power openly. Every time we go to camp, that's us making a stand, man. That's the Lord condition us to stand for him, because it's awkward, you out there in these areas, the chief place of concourse, and you had the garments on, you know, you stand out. And the Lord is conditioned us to stand for him, in the worst times. Okay. So we're used to being the outcast and looking awkward and being a spectacle in this world, you know? So because we're keeping, all right, the word of his patience, all right, it says, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation. And she was just going into the hour of temptation. Okay. It said, which shall come upon all of them, which shall come upon all the world. Okay. It's going to be a global, okay, thing. The whole world, the whole globe, the whole earth population going to be tried to try them that dwell upon the earth. Okay. So the Lord promised that he's going to keep us through these times, man. Okay. And even in death, we have a reward. Okay. Because you go into Revelation 20 and 24, we die. Okay. For not bending the knee. That's a victory. You see, there's nothing that Esau can do, all right, to take away the victory that's within the elect. Okay. Revelation 20 and 4 says, and I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai and for the word of the Most High, and which did not, all right, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years, man. Okay. So John the Revelator seen those that were beheaded on thrones. Okay, because what? They didn't bend the knee. Okay, they didn't worship the beast. They didn't take his mark, the charagma. Okay, and he seen them reigning with Yahweh Shai. And that 1,000 years just represents that 1,000 year period, of their rigorous captivity on the heathens. All right, and Esau is going to be exterminated after that 1,000 years, man. Okay, but that 1,000 years is just the beginning, you know, of an eternal kingdom. All right. It's not going to be 1,000 year reign. Then you got to fight Russia and all. It's crazy. 1,000 years. Okay, well that's a whole nother, you know, topic. You know, but nah, man, 1,000 years is just going to be okay. Their point of going from this old world to the new world in righteousness. Righteousness is going to be established, okay, and the standard. 1,000 years is going to set the tone for eternity, man. Okay, and righteousness. You see, so going from there, because let's get this real quick in the book of Second Esdras. Yep, we get that too. Just the water, brother. Let me grab that real quick. Get this real quick from the brother Kazak Bun Yahweh, just to, make that point, because the precept, explain it best, Daniel 7 and 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever, man. A perpetual, all right, kingdom, an ongoing age, a never ending age, okay, of the reign of Israel and righteousness, man. Okay. So let's go from here, because you see, this woman, which we don't know if she's a Jake or not. Okay. But she, in the time of turmoil, hey, she prayed. She said she prayed. Okay. And what happened? All right, let's go here. She started being guided. which that's a promise in the scriptures for us, all right, that believe. All right. It says, this is second Esdras, okay, 16-73, just getting to the point. It said, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. You know, because we're gonna be in the midst of this, man. Because that woman, she was tried, you know, and in her mind, she was like, I gotta get out of this. You know, her mind, look, I'm gonna escape. You see, and that shows you that the Lord, all right, is gonna put a spirit, okay, on His elect, okay, to maneuver through these times, man. Okay, and it said they shall be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as a gold in fire. Hear, O ye my beloved, said the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Okay, because that woman, she was delivered, you know, because she said the security guard, you know, she could tell that she could read his mind that he was getting ready to go to the bathroom, you know, and when he went to the bathroom, you know, that's when, you know, she said the Lord told her, you know, that's her escape, you know, to hit that door, that side door on his ass, man. You know, verse 75 said, be you not afraid, neither doubt, for the most high is your God, man. Okay, so we're gonna be guided, you know, expect, you know, the Lord to intervene, and, you know, angels to be sent, and, you know, to have dreams and visions about, you know, what the next move gonna be. Like the Lord gonna intervene on another level in these times. You see, and the Lord, you know, He intervenes now in our day to day. Okay, and it's getting us used to trusting. Okay, in the process that the Lord already got laid out. You know, because the Lord already has provisions. You know, for us in these times we coming into, man. All right, now let's go here. Okay, because this video, you know, he covers quite a few things, and hey, we in a time, you know, like I say, these next few days, man, this weekend, you know, hey, this weekend could be crazy. We'll see, you know, but it could be crazy, man. All right, this weekend, you know, could set a tone, okay, for the rest of the year, okay, but we're going to see. So let's play this, and he goes into a few things, man. Like I said, these things are finna change. All right. They're normal every day, the convenience, you know, your daily routine and your daily comforts, man. Hey, that's finna change, you know. So just in the spirit, we gotta prepare to pivot, however we need to pivot, man. You know. So let's play this real quick.
We already have videos coming out of people taking things out of stores. I don't know if it is directly related to the shift in the social contract that has taken place across our country. That social contract was put into place by law enforcement, saying that you do not just go into stores and take things from them. We right now may be witnessing the beginning of the unraveling of social order as we know it. A lot of people are saying that their wives and their family are not going to go out shopping without them come November 1st. And I think that that is probably one of the smartest things that they can do, because we are going to see an increase in this type of activity very soon. Let's go ahead and watch. This is one of many videos. There are so many flooding the internet right now of people getting attacked inside of restaurants because it just seems like people have lost their freaking minds. Let's go ahead and watch some of this take place. So you see this attack taking place inside of this restaurant. The employees can do basically nothing about it at the time because the guy had an advantage over them. They get smacked down. He goes out to his vehicle with the plate clearly, thankfully, visible. So law enforcement can follow up on this, but it just reminds we have almost 50,000 people losing their jobs from Amazon. 30,000, excuse me, 50,000 from UPS. Intel dropping 24,000, Nestle 16,000, Accenture and Ford 11,000 apiece, Nordisk 9,000, Microsoft 7,000. Each one of these, every single loss of employment right now is because we have trained artificial intelligence and robotics to do our jobs better or cheaper. Now, there's an idea out there that you are going to benefit from this, and this is propaganda that is being pushed by the administration, is being pushed by robotics in general. They believe that you're going to benefit from this, and you are not. The only person that's going to benefit from what is coming is the corporation.
So you have all these job losses. Okay, when you look at it, all right, UPS, then look at the timing of it, man. So you can have people losing their government assistance, people losing their jobs. Okay, around this time of year. All right. Amazon 30,000, Intel 24,000, Nestle 16,000, Accenture 11,000, Ford 11,000, Microsoft 7,000, Nova Nordisk 9,000. Okay, Salesforce 4,000. Okay, and then there's one of them, Applied Materials. All right, 1,444. The number always in the mix. This is what we need. We need all this, man. Okay, but this is setting the precedence for unrest. This is setting the precedence for unrest, man. So let's play some more.
Or cheaper. Now, there's an idea out there that you are going to benefit from this, and this is propaganda that is being pushed by the administration, is being pushed by robotics in general. They believe that you're going to benefit from this, and you are not. The only person that's going to benefit from what is coming is the corporations. You cannot have a corporation that is completely dependent on increasing stock prices do better with lower prices. Those two things do not align themselves. So, folks, please know that harder times are coming. This is video in the aftermath of that giant, some people say modified, hurricane that struck Jamaica. This is video showing sharks in the pool, large aquatic fish in the pool.
Oh my God, the whole ocean's on the street. This is Jamaica right now. The water came all the way up to the hotel. Look at this, that's a shark. Oh no, there's another one over there. I can't believe it. The sea's just pouring in. Everything's under, the pool's gone. Please let this.
This is drone footage this is footage that my brother sent in to me. This is reportedly of drone attacks.
So you had Hurricane Melissa, okay, which has been through Jamaica. All right. And you had sharks, in hotel swimming pools. So the hurricane, displaced animals. Okay, sea animals on the land, so you have wildlife from the ocean. Okay, that's in the land now. Okay. Yeah, the judgment is intensifying, man. The aftermath hasn't been reported on the damages. Okay, but just that little footage that shows you, the strength, okay, of that hurricane, which right now it's in Cuba. All right, it's over Cuba now. It's supposed to be in the Atlantic. Going toward the Atlantic. Tomorrow, Friday. It'll be off the East Coast. But it'll be kind of further out. You still feel some residuals. Which we're getting the residuals of. Hurricane Melissa. Now we're getting a lot of wind up here, a lot of rain. It's been cloudy the last few days. That's why the live stream was kind of a little choppy yesterday. But yeah, that storm was strong, man. So we'll keep up with that as well, kind of see what the damages was done down there, in Jamaica, and in Cuba, you know. But everything is intensified, you know. The Lord has a perfect storm brewing for judgment, man. All right. So let's go back to it.
Dropping munitions or dropping some type of aerial attack weapon in Rio. This is Rio de Janeiro's north zone. They say that security forces are fighting a drone war right now. Every time I see videos like this with people posting from inside of their houses, I am very quickly reminded that this too will come to America.
Because there were law enforcement, using drones, and it seemed like they was in a shootout, okay, or in a drone war, okay, with the different gangs in Rio de Janeiro, okay. These are the times when it's going down. And you best believe them times, like he just said, hey, they coming to America, man. Except it's gonna be way worse. It's gonna be far worse. What's coming to America, man?
It's only a matter of time till our streets are overrun by law enforcement fighting a drone war. We're about to see a complete shakeup inside of our country, and none of it is going to benefit you and me, except if we're lucky enough, if we have a tiny percentage, that maybe we will see some law and order afterwards.
I'm not going
to. Now, I've told you to go gray over and over again. Stop wearing your MAGA hats. Don't wear anything that signifies a color of Republican or Democrat representation. Definitely take off your Kamala, Queen Kamala shirts, no matter what you're wearing. Remember, no kings, but Queen Kamala made no sense to me. But these are people at McDonald's, the workers, saying that at the best case scenario, they won't serve you. At the worst case, you can only imagine what is happening to your food.
Oh, what a day. What a week. We had a guy come in today wearing a mega hat, and I walked away from the register. And I said, nope, not waiting on him, not handing him food, not making him food. Absolutely not. Yeah, I have a red shirt on, but it's my work shirt and my company's on the side. But other than that, I don't think I really own any red shirts. It's all.
And that's crazy. And that shows you the enchantment that's on people. To now they're linking their ideology to a color. She's not a MAGA supporter, so other than her McDonald's work shirt, she doesn't have any red shirts. And that's just like them niggas in Cali, man. They're so goddamn serious about a color like that. Because they under that heavy enchantment, okay, of game banging, man. It shows you that this devil, he has enchanted people, okay, on a whole nother level, man. So here it is, we're going into this time of scarcity, all right, and people are more divided than ever, man. The atmosphere is set. The division is there. People are enchanted. People are going to get more demonic, especially as, they go into survival mode. Okay, because if people are divided, before, collapse, how much more divided, as things as a squeeze, gets worse, man.
Pennsylvania police officer, this video came out into my attention the day before yesterday. I saw this guy ramming his Mercedes G-Wagon into these officers. This guy was just 21 years old, but everybody stood by. Shots are firing. Let's just watch this chaos unfold.
Oh.
Now you see the cop makes a tactically bad move to get out of his vehicle. Right now he's in an armored vehicle at slow speed. The guy in this other vehicle could really do nothing about causing imminent harm of life against his life. He could cause some damage, of course, but he gets out of his vehicle. and then gives this guy some room to put speed on the charge.
Girl.
And then what you expect happens. Listen. So definitely people have lost their minds out there, but Donald Trump believes that we are just on the edge, the very verge of a change in America. Let's listen.
When it comes to defending the United States, we're no longer politically correct. We're going to defend our country any way we have to, and that's usually not the politically correct way. From now on, if we're in a war, we're going to win the war. We're going to win it like nobody ever before. You know, we'd go in, we'd blast the hell out of countries. Shouldn't have gone in. By the way, if you don't go in, that's even better. We don't have to go in, peace through strength. But, you know, we'd go in, we'd win, and then we'd leave. They used to say, to the victor belong the spoils. Well, we'd be the victor, then we'd leave.
Now, there you can see a little bit of the subconscious coming out in Donald Trump and the reason that we are going to take Venezuela. To the victor goes the spoils. They absolutely need all of Venezuela's gold and oil to win the world war that's coming. This guy is just one of the propagandists that believes humanoid robots will make it so that you have more money. These robots will cost around $3,000. Human labor will be eliminated in the supply chain, and he thinks that prices, at least of the robotics, will drop to $300. By 2035, that's just 10 years from now, more robots than people, 5 times the number of manual laborers. They say cities will be rebuilt. They'll be restored in just a couple of years, roads replaced with parks and playgrounds, electronic autonomous vehicles going through tunnels. Now, the question that I have for you is, if things are bad right now with the economy, how do you expect them to get better when you can't work for money?
All right, ladies, now food stamps getting ready to get cut off, and I hate to be the one to tell you this. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to need y'all to get out here and start selling that cat again, okay? Because
might be the bearer of bad news, but if you're out there selling your cat, as this individual says, which is another term for prostitution, then maybe it's the burial of bad news, because you're going to catch something you can't get rid of.
If I came in your house with all my bags, picking out all your food, deep freezing, snacks, your grandmama's milk and everything, what you gonna do? I'm curious. What you gonna do?
Now, first of all, your first line of defense is strength. Just like we have in our military, strength through peace. You have the ability to have force multipliers in your house. You have the ability to protect.
And you see he throwing that shotgun shell in the air. Okay. And I don't know what, the nigger woman, and this shows you how delusional nigger woman is, because she's been able to maneuver in society with no consequence. She's been able to be unruly, unchecked. Okay, so I don't know who refrigerator she thinks that she's gonna just walk into. I love to see that shit. I don't know who refrigerator she thinks she's just gonna casually walk into. Okay, and just go grocery shop. Okay, the nigga woman finna get a major awakening. You see Edomites. Look how he looking at that shell. I just paused it. I just happened to pause it right there. But look how he looking at that shell. And that's for your funny looking ass, man. And from the looks of your face, all right, you lost a lot of fights. All right. So you, all right, don't need to walk with nobody, all right, refrigerator. Okay. But I don't know. I can't put 2 and 2 together, but I sure would love to see it. All right.
Your family from imminent threats against life. And if you can't get rid of.
If I came in your house with all my bags, picking out all your food, deep freezer, snacks, your grandmama's milk and everything, what you gonna do? I'm curious. What you gonna do?
Now, first of all, your first line of defense is strength. Just like we have in our military, strength through peace. You have the ability to have force multipliers in your house. You have the ability to protect your family from imminent threats against life. And if somebody's coming into your house, well, you better check with your lawyer and your local law enforcement and see what you can do, because she's asking what you're going to do, and she's not the only one. This is some video footage of looting that took place and theft right after the Jamaican hurricane went through. ATMs stolen, several businesses robbed. Music still playing in the background, Jamaican Mon. Reggae won't be all that's playing across the United States of America as we endure the coming breaking of the social contract. Unrest is definitely coming for our country. I implore you to please share this video with friends and family.
Yeah, man. So there's just a lot going on, you know, and oh boy, you know. Let's go here. All right. Well, yeah, like I said, you have the atmosphere, you know, the stage is set for civil unrest. Okay. People are finna get desperate. People are finna get in survival mode. Okay. You know, people finna, all right, as they say, fuck around and find out. You know, for Eve wondering what somebody gonna do. All right. Well, her and many like her gonna find out. Okay. So let's go to just a brother, Kazak Bunny Howard, the second Ezra 16 to 18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great deaths, the beginning, all right, of the powers. Okay. It says, in the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils, and what shall I do when what shall I do when these evils shall come? You know, so Ezra's is like, damn, you know, what I'm gonna do in these times. Okay, but we have the comfort and understanding, you know, what we're gonna do, man. It's gonna be trusting our power, you know, and the Lord, you know, Yahweh Shai. In fact, let's get this real quick. You know, this is a time to trust more than ever, you know. Let's go here. And this is why the Lord has us staying out the way, man. Let these people have it, you know, and these people are getting ready, all right, to devour one another, you know, and these people get into survival mode, okay, and these people, you know, are faced, you know, with all these uncertainties. Because, see, we're not uncertain, you know, and that's going to be a major part of our stability, because scripture say what wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of our time, okay, because it gives us certainty. You see, these people are going to be moving with no uncertainty, man, you know, with uncertainty, okay. So you go to St. John 17 and 13, all right, it says, and now I am come, all right, and these things I speak in the world, that you might have my joy, all right, that they might have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them thy word, and the world hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. I pray not that thou shouldest take them out of the world, but thou shouldest keep it them from the evil, which is the bad times. You know, so Yahweh Shai, you know, he prayed for us that we will be kept, you know, from the evil of these times. You know, we're going to be affected. We're not going to be devoured like these people are going to be devoured. You know, it's going to affect us. It's going to affect our day to day. It's going to affect, you know, our routines, our comforts, and, you know, particular things. But we're not going to be devoured like these people. You know, they just going to be out there, man, you know, left to their own devices. You see, we have a power, all right, that we lean on. We have a rock, okay? We have a foundation, okay? And that's Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, okay? So we're finna see a major shakeup, okay? And the normalcy that people, you know, have, you know, enjoy is finna be snatched away, okay? The Lord finna snatch away these comforts and convenience from these entitled, wicked, okay, demonic people, man. Okay, and they finna throw a major tantrum, and we finna see this is the time of crash outs, man. Okay, everybody's finna crash except for the elect, including the elites of Esau, Edom. He finna crash, because he done provoked the war with Yahushua, so he finna crash. All right, and everybody under him is finna crash. Okay, he's just gonna be the last one to crash. This Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and the strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." Okay, so wisdom and knowledge. This is why within the grace period, the Lord is putting the Spirit on us to trust. Okay, to be stabilized by this word. To be stabilized by these promises, man, to be comforted. We have a comforter. We're comforted in these times, or everyone else is finna be uncertain and they finna crash, So, that's the point, just wanted to get into that, hey, be circumspect in these times, be mindful, okay? Let these people have it, okay? But mainly be circumspect. Because things are starting to change, desperation. Hey, be circumspect with this weekend, the day the 29th, you got the 30th, the 31st, and Saturday is going to be the time when these things are supposed to hit. All right. And these people are going to be waking up, with no, with no deposit, okay, on those cards. Because see, it's going to see Jake don't believe it's real yet. I think a lot of them don't believe it's real yet because they've been getting it for so long. So I believe a lot of them don't even think it's real yet, man. So it's gonna take a minute for this reality to set in. So we're gonna see. So Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you sisters edified once again. I'm gonna give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.